हेलो एवरीवन, कैसे आप लोग। आज का पॉडकास्ट इंटरनल ऑडिट के बारे में है। तो जब मैं सीए की पढ़ाई कर रहा था तो उसका थ्रेशोल्ड किसके लिए एप्लीकेबल है, बस उसके अलावा मुझे और कुछ पता नहीं था। सिर्फ और सिर्फ स्टैट ऑडिट के बारे में पता था प्रैक्टिकली। तो आज हमारे साथ है सीए मोहित कुमार, जो बिग फोर में मैनेजर है और पास्ट एक डिकेड से इंटरनल ऑडिट में काम कर रहे हैं। तो इनसे जानते हैं इनके एक्सपीरियंस के बारे में और एक्चुअल में इंटरनल ऑडिट प्रैक्टिकल लाइफ में कैसा होता है, उसमें क्या काम होता है। आज हम लोग डिटेल में जानेंगे इस प्रोफाइल के बारे में। So, first of all, thank you, Mohit, for coming to my podcast.
Thanks, Madhav, for inviting me to your podcast and allowing me to speak on the profession which has helped me to be in a position wherein I am today. So, thank you so much for inviting me. My name is Mohit, like Madhav mentioned. So, I am working as an associate director with PwC right now. And my journey started way back in 2017 with PwC. So, prior to PwC, I did my articleship with a mid-sized firm, CSIF Khemka and Company, and which helped me laid a foundation into the internal audit domain. Because when you start your journey with a mid-sized firm, you don't choose a particular stream to work. You get tax, you get indirect tax, direct tax, you get ROC work. You are even asked to do printouts, do Xerox, do internal audit. So whatever work a firm gets, you are the whole and sole person to execute, and that happened with me. So altogether with articleship, my journey into internal audit started, and we went to a client, didn't knew anything about internal audit, just knew that there is a section on internal audit and we'll have to execute. But how the foundation is laid, how to start an internal audit, how to communicate with process owners, so everything was unknown, and that's how the journey started. So from a background standpoint, so my entire education, schooling, everything has happened into West Bengal, and it was my father's friend because of which this journey of CA started. And yes, it was the articleship which laid the foundation of internal audit for me.
Lovely, Mohit. Lovely to know your background. Coming towards, like, you have mentioned many things about your articleship and your, like, why did you choose CA, because the uncle के friend के कारण. So specifically, like, जब CA जैसे बोलते हैं ना, अपने एग्जाम फॉर्म भर रहे, फर्स्ट टाइम रजिस्ट्रेशन कर रहे, तो उस टाइम क्या था मन में कि मतलब वाई CA उस
So frankly, Madhav, like I mentioned, it was
या
my father's friend who asked me to join CA. When it comes to schooling and graduation, I was a below average student. So, starting CA way back in 2012, knowing that passing percentage is quite low, so heartbeat was quite high. Didn't knew that whether I'll qualify this particular course, one of the toughest course into the country, and whether I'll qualify this course or not. So there were multiple questions that were going on, but still, with no other option that was there into my mind, I thought there's nothing to lose. Let's join and
या
start this profession. So that's how my journey started. So my uncle guided me. He helped me into registration and everything. As soon as I completed my graduation BCom, I joined few tuitions for CPT, and that's how my journey started for CPT. Fortunate enough that I qualified my CPT in first attempt, and that's how this journey went ahead. Then I started my articleship, appeared for IPCC, cleared my IPCC. So group 1 I cleared it in first attempt, group 2 took multiple attempts. So while giving group 2, there was a negative feeling that I was getting, because I failed twice or thrice in group 2 of IPCC. But somehow something motivated me, and that something was that I don't have anything to lose. If I don't qualify, I don't have any other option. So it's the only thing that was in my mind, that if not this attempt, maybe next attempt I'll have to qualify and built up a base for me so that I can take my career ahead. If not, maybe I'll have to choose some another profession, but some or the other qualification I'll have to take to move ahead into my career. So that kept motivating me, pushed me. My friends also supported, guided me, and more importantly, the support of the family was there. Even I didn't clear, I knew that my parents are upset, but they never made me felt that they are upset. So they kept on motivating me that if not this attempt, maybe you'll have to work hard and uh, clear it into the next attempt. So that's how I kept myself motivating and fortunate enough that I cleared my group 2, and then came CA final examination. So while giving my first attempt of CA final, I was a bit nervous. I appeared for one group, didn't cleared my group 1 in first attempt. Appeared second time again. It, because of aggregate, I didn't cleared my group 2. But again, the same reason, that I don't have anything to lose, kept on motivating me. Fortunately, uh, I got to know via my neighbor that there is an opportunity in PwC India. At that point of time, I was not qualified. I went for interview. Um, Two managers at PwC India took my interview for internal audit domain, and there were multiple questions that was asked to me. And the main thing which they want to understand was, I haven't qualified my CA examination yet, so why do I want to join a job and not prefer to complete my CA examination first? So again, that question gave me a kickback to think that, whether I'm taking a right decision or not. But somehow I thought, maybe I'll have to enter into a profession even after qualifying, so why not to start at this point of time and then simultaneously pursue my CA examination as well. So that's how my journey of profession also started into internal audit. And while doing internal audit, I used to carry, everyone knows that there's a traveling that gets involved into internal audit. So that's how there was one backpack wherein my clothes used to be there, and second backpack I used to carry my CA examination books.
सो
And
पर्सनली व्हाट आई फील दैट, जैसे आपने कहा कि वाई, मतलब कि यू हैव नथिंग टू लूज, सो दैट कीप्स यू मोटिवेटिंग कि यार करना है करना है करना है. मुझे भी ऐसा फील होता है कि लाइक आई ड्रॉ इंस्पिरेशन फ्रॉम मूवीज ऑल्सो, लाइक एवरी मूवी हैज़ अ मीनिंग. तो जैसे अभी धुरंधर में बोलता है ना, हौसला ईंधन बदला, तो यू शुड हैव दैट वाई. तो वो ईंधन तभी इट एड्स योर फ्यूल, मतलब आपका बहुत डिसिप्लिन आता है उससे, और बहुत वो जो इनर मोटिवेशन आता है वो काफ़ी काम करता है, मुझे ऐसा फील होता है.
absolutely,
या
Madhav. So if there will be no motivation, I think the push or the kick that you are going to get, will slow down. So until unless there is something which keeps you motivating, be it anything, be it your job, your personal life, any activity that you want to do, even the sports that you like playing. If there is nothing that motivates you, end of the day, it's like useless, or no point of having that particular thing in your life. So there should be something which should keep you motivating, and it will impact your profession and whatever activity the results that you are going to get with the motivation behind will be different as compared to the result which you are going to get having zero motivation.
one follow-up question, like as you said that you started your uh, work in PwC before clearing CA. So, what is it a good strategy, like having a degree then going to a job, or like taking that risk? So it's a question that is coming to my mind.
Very nice question, Madhav. Uh, so there is no right or wrong answer to it, but I'll share my experience.
Yeah.
So when I joined PwC, there were many of my friends who told me that this is a wrong decision which I am taking. Few of them supported my decision. I I motivated myself that I'll have to start a job even after qualifying. So why not start at this point of time? There will be a lot of hustle which I'll have to face, but if I qualify while working, it will benefit me. That was my thought process, and same thing happened. So definitely there was a lot of hustle. I had to struggle. The leave that we used to get in Big Four for CA final was not more than 20-25 days, but somehow I managed while my work to study and keep myself updated about all these changes and everything taking place. And the day I qualified while working with PwC, two things changed drastically: the way my colleagues used to look at me, the respect that I got within the system, and secondly, my pay package. So there was a jump of 90% the day I qualified, and that jump took place. I think it was 7 or 8 days after the results came out. And if I compare to the people who joined after qualifying, my pay package was 2-3 lakh higher. What people used to get as a fresher while qualifying. So few things that good happened with me was my pay package was higher as compared to other people who just entered into profession after qualifying. Because I was already involved into profession, my senior, my HR knew that I am experienced. I know this profession. I'm working with Big Four. I know the environment of Big Four. So that was a positive sign for me. But yes, if I would suggest, if you can handle a
Multitasking.
workload, if you are a multitasker, if you can manage the pressure that you are going to get, and if you feel that you are a type of person who can handle any situation that comes
Yeah.
to your plate, then I think you should go for job. If you are not uh, able to clear your CA final in 3-4 attempts, then I think you should go for job, because there will be a motivation that you are going to get, that I already have a job in my hand, so I don't have to worry about a job. If I work hard and focus on my studies as well, maybe early in the morning, after going back to your home, after you have completed your day's work, and if you focus on your studies, and qualify while working, it will definitely impact your pay package that others will get as
Yeah.
compared to you.
And personally, what I feel is like everyone is different. Like every build-up is different. For me, I'm not a multitasker. So one of my friend only like studies for 6 to 7 hours and he has cracked
Hmm.
C in first attempt. So it totally depends upon person to person. And personally, what I feel कि वो productivity बढ़ जाती है उससे, क्योंकि आप बाहर जा रहे हो, आपका mind occupied है, तो अब आके वो productive hours ज़्यादा निकलता है.
Right, and one thing which helped me was, there were many things that I could relate while doing studies, because
Yeah.
I was practically working. The domain was same, the internal audit, and while I was studying, I could relate many things, be it accounts, be it taxation, be it your ISCA, ITGC, any subject which you pick and choose, you can relate while working on ground for a particular client. So that also helped me to relate many things, understand. So before starting the job, when I used to study for CA final, there were many things which I could not understood, why these things have been written
Yeah.
theoretically in books. But after doing a job for 6 months, and then I went back and studied the same thing, I could relate why this has been captured into the book. So there are many pros as well, cons as well, while you pursue your CA final examination while working. But yeah, end of the day, I would say it will benefit you. The hustle that you have taken uh, to work while pursuing your CA final will definitely pay you off at a later point of time.
So Mohit, a follow-up question for this, coming towards articleship. So what do you feel that one should do articleship in internal audit और stat audit? जैसे मेरे टाइम पे था, मेरे टाइम पे लोग मतलब काफ़ी अपॉर्चुनिटीज थी दोनों जगह, बट दे यूज टू प्रेफर टू गो टू स्टैट ऑडिट बिकॉज मार्केट में अभी वही था उस टाइम पे कि स्टैट ऑडिट में ज़्यादा ग्रोथ अपॉर्चुनिटीज है, एग्जिट अपॉर्चुनिटीज ज़्यादा. सो व्हाट आर योर व्यूज ऑन इट, लाइक वन शुड डू आर्टिकलशिप फ्रॉम स्टैट और इंटरनल?
Again,
Yeah.
good follow-up question, Madhav. So, like I mentioned towards the start of this podcast, that I did my articleship from mid-size firm.
Yeah.
So for me, there was nothing called statutory audit, internal audit, or tax, indirect tax, direct tax, transfer pricing. All those things were not there for me to pick and choose. So genuinely speaking, if you ask me, I would recommend people to do articleship in a mid-size firm, wherein you get to know each and everything about CA profession, and as compared to if you pick and choose internal audit or stat audit, your domain gets restricted at early stage of your career. So maybe there are people who have different opinions,
Yeah.
different thought process to it. But from my thought process, I would always recommend people to start with a mid-sized firm, wherein you get to know each and everything. You learn about taxation, you learn about audits, you learn about ROC, and n number of things which at later stage of career you will not get to learn. Now, specifically, if you want me to answer why, if stat audit or internal audit, so both have their pros and cons. You get to learn in both these streams. I have not been into stat audit for a detailed stat audit in Big Four, but yes, I have been almost towards a closer to a decade into internal audit. So my preference would be towards internal audit, because you get to know all of these stakeholders within a system. You get to know about the business, you interact with promoters a lot, and end of the day, when you conclude an internal audit, you know in ins and outs of a business. You know how a machine operates, you know about sales and marketing, you know about production, you know about manufacturing, uh, you know about how the strategy is being made. If it's a research and development team, how they are working on it. So ins and outs, all the transaction, be it their warehousing, storage, capacity, utilization, ins and outs, all the transaction, of an organization, and end of the day you are sitting in a position wherein you know how a business operates. But when it comes to statutory audit, to my limited understanding, your scope gets restricted.
Yeah.
You don't get chance to interact with all the stakeholders within an organization, and understanding of a business as a whole gets restricted. So if you ask me, my inclination is towards internal audit, and I'll ask people, because what I feel, that until unless you understand a business, you cannot give any opinion or recommendation to any of the person, be it promoters, be it the senior professionals of an organization. So it's very critical to understand the business first, which internal audit helps you to gain a complete understanding. So yeah, from my viewpoint, my inclination is towards internal audit, because like I mentioned, you get to know ins and outs of a particular business, and end of the day, you know, as a professional, that how this business operates.
Definitely. So, because we have started a debate between internal audit and stat audit from articleship perspective, similarly, I want to ask you, as a CA fresher, should I choose internal audit or stat audit? Like as you mentioned that in internal audit we understand the business in and out of the processes, but stat audit on a prima facie level we used to understand this. Now, if I've seen in the market, like if I'm in financial due diligence profile, many people are like preferring stat audit guy to come into FDD. But personally, what I feel that internal audit gives you more exposure as compared to stat audit, because you are understanding the business. That's the most important thing.
Right.
लाइक एनालिसिस तो यार मैं सिखा दूंगा, मतलब वो 1 साल लगेगा सीखने में, बट वो बिजनेस को समझना, उस सेक्टर को समझना, दैट इज वेरी इंपॉर्टेंट. सो आई वांट टू बस्ट दैट मिथ, मतलब प्रिवेलिंग इन द मार्केट दैट people are preferring stat audit more than internal audit.
So
Yeah.
right, Madhav. So again, like I mentioned earlier, so my inclination is always towards internal audit, but nevertheless, there is a good exposure into statutory as well. When it comes to FDD, why stat audit is being preferred, because people into stat audit deep dive more into financial transactions.
Yeah.
So they know in depth about the balance sheet items, P&L items. And when it comes to FDD, the majority of the work, to my understanding, is towards the financial transaction, right? So that's why the preference is more of a candidate who has spent majority of his or her time into statutory audit as compared to internal audit. However, I feel that candidates who are doing internal audit for last good 6, 7, 8 years, they also know many things about an organization, about the financial transaction, how entry is being punched into the system, any sort of entry that is being punched into the ERP, how a business transaction is being executed. So yes, when it comes to FDD, the preference of an statutory auditor is more as compared to internal auditor. But I also want to clarify, or via your podcast, that the internal auditor also has same sort of understanding. They also knows ins and outs of a business, so they can also be preferred. While when it comes to FDD or any sort of segment, I would also like to add that when it comes to internal audit, we know about procurement, we know about sales. We are not an engineer, but we are not less than an engineer, because we know about manufacturing, whether a bomb has been established or not, whether manufacturing is being done as a bomb. We cannot open machine and check whether why machine is not functioning, but transaction around those machines, and on manufacturing, we can review and identify that there is something which is going wrong with this machine, and exactly what is going wrong with this machine, then those engineers will come into the picture. So my only say would be that we can be being an internal auditor, we can be procurement head, we can be sales head, we can be marketing head, we can run the manufacturing setup as well. So this profile gives you n number of options on your plate to pick and choose at a later part of your career.
सो मोहित, एक क्वेश्चन था इस पे कि अगर एक लेमन को समझना है इंटरनल ऑडिट एंड स्टैट ऑडिट में डिफरेंस, सो आप उसको 2-3 पॉइंटर्स में, इफ यू हैव टू सम अप, व्हाट इज द डिफरेंस बिटवीन एन इंटरनल ऑडिटर एंड अ स्टैट ऑडिटर? बिकॉज एज अ प्रोफेशनल मेरे को भी कंफ्यूजन होता है, मतलब मेरे को एकदम 19-20 ही लगता है दोनों में. मेरे को इतना पता है कि वो प्रोसेस देखता है, वो ओवरऑल फाइनेंशियल स्टेटमेंट देखता है, बट अगर मैं एकदम टू द पॉइंट बोलूँ तो दोनों में क्या डिफरेंस है?
सो सबसे पहले माधव, आई वुड लाइक टू से कि स्टैट ऑडिटर एक एक्ट के थ्रू गवर्न होती है स्टैट ऑडिट. देयर इज अ कंप्लायंस ऑफ अ कंपनीज एक्ट बिकॉज ऑफ विच स्टैट्यूटरी ऑडिट इज मैंडेट, एंड उसमें कुछ कुछ क्राइटेरिया होता है जहाँ पे आपको यू विल हैव टू परफॉर्म एज पर डिफाइंड चेकलिस्ट and the activities that has been defined into your compliance as well. But जब बात internal audit की आती है, there is no act, there is no checklist, there is nothing defined. वहाँ पे आपको जाना है, you will have to apply your own minds. Maybe if you are going as an internal auditor, you can do 10 activities. If I go, I can do 15 activities. If some third person come, वो 15 की जगह 20 चीज़ें चेक कर सकते हैं. So there is no restriction when it comes to internal audit. आप कुछ भी कर सकते हो, प्रमोटर्स भी आपको नहीं रोकेंगे, नन ऑफ द पर्सन विद इन एन ऑर्गेनाइजेशन विल स्टॉप यू, नाइदर एनी वन सीनियर इनटू योर ऑर्गेनाइजेशन विल स्टॉप यू कि माधव ये क्यों चेक कर रहे हो. जो आपने क्लाइंट के साथ अग्रीमेंट किया, यू कैन गो बियॉन्ड दैट एज वेल, सब्जेक्ट टू रिस्क क्लियरेंस जो आपके ऑर्गेनाइजेशन का, यू कैन गो. सो सबसे बड़ा बेनिफिट इंटरनल ऑडिट में क्या है कि देयर इज़ नो रेस्ट्रिक्शन कि आपको यही 4 काम करना है, इसके अलावा और कुछ नहीं. एंड स्टार्ट ऑडिट जेन्युइनली उसमें क्या होता है कि टू माई अंडरस्टैंडिंग उसमें कंपनीज एक्ट की कुछ रेगुलेशंस आ जाती है, एंड देयर इज़ अ चेकलिस्ट विच हैज़ टू बी वैलिडेटेड, वेरीफाइड, और वो सारी चीज़ें आपको चेक करनी पड़ती है. एंड देयर इज़ अ आई वुड से थिन लाइन विच हैज़ टू बी ड्रॉन व्हेन इट कम्स टू स्टैट्यूटरी ऑडिट, जो कि इंटरनल ऑडिट के केस में नहीं होता है. सो आई थिंक दिस इज मोस्ट क्रिटिकल डिफरेंस बिटवीन स्टैट्यूटरी ऑडिट एंड इंटरनल ऑडिट. इंटरनल ऑडिट गिव्स यू अ फ्री हैंड, आपके ऊपर कोई रिस्क लाइबिलिटी नहीं है. हाँ, व्हेन इट कम्स टू स्टार्ट ऑडिट
मतलब कोई दायरा नहीं है उसमें.
हाँ, नहीं दायरा भी नहीं है, एंड कोई रिस्क लाइबिलिटी भी नहीं है. When it comes to statutory, there are multiple risks and liabilities that comes into the picture if something goes wrong. Whereas in internal audit, I would say कि yes, definitely you don't want to leave anything untouched while doing an internal audit, but it gives you a free hand. You are a free bird. आप कुछ भी कर सकते हो, कहीं पे भी जा सकते हो, कैसे भी चेक कर सकते हो, and then end of the day you'll have to report that this is something which I verified, and to the best of my knowledge and understanding, this is something which I feel is going right in your organization or going wrong in your organization. So I think this is the major benefit that I would say internal audit has as compared to statutory audit.
बेसिकली एक फ्री हैंड दे देना,
एक फ्री हैंड देता है. एंड उसके अलावा आई वुड ऑल्सो लाइक आई मेंशन्ड अर्लियर, स्टार्ट ऑडिट करने के बाद यू कैन नॉट बी अ प्रोक्योरमेंट हेड और अ सेल्स हेड. बट अगर आप इंटरनल ऑडिट करके निकल रहे हो तो आपने प्रोक्योरमेंट का भी ऑडिट किया, आपने सेल्स का भी किया, मार्केटिंग का भी किया. सो यू कैन प्ले अ रोल ऑफ प्रोक्योरमेंट हेड, यू कैन प्ले अ रोल ऑफ सेल्स हेड. सो देयर हैज़ बीन मेनी सीनियर ऑफ माइन हु इज नाउ वर्किंग एज अ प्रोक्योरमेंट हेड, सेल्स हेड एंड मार्केटिंग हेड ऑफ एन ऑर्गेनाइजेशन, जो कि आप शायद स्टैट्यूटरी ऑडिट में वो बेनिफिट ना मिल पाए आप.
सो मोहित, कमिंग टुवर्ड्स आर्टिकलशिप अगेन, सो व्हाट आर योर व्यूज, लाइक 2 years ऑफ आर्टिकलशिप जो अभी इंस्टीट्यूट ने कर दी, कि 3 years ऑफ आर्टिकलशिप?
For me, 3 years of articleship, because articleship is a phase wherein your mindset is clear that I'll have to learn and learn. जहाँ पे आप उसको 3 साल से 2 साल कर दोगे, देखो स्टार्टिंग के फेज में आर्टिकलशिप के एंड टूवर्ड्स द एंड ऑफ आर्टिकलशिप द फोकस इज डिफरेंट. स्टार्टिंग में पीपल आर नॉट दैट मच ट्रेंड, उनको एक काम के जोन में आने में भी समय लगता है. बाय द टाइम दे फील दैट नाउ दे हैव लर्न समथिंग एंड दे कैन कंट्रीब्यूट, तो उसमें 5-6 महीना निकल जाता है. टूवर्ड्स द एंड द प्रेशर ऑफ CA फाइनल कम्स इनटू द पिक्चर, एंड देन फोकस अगेन शिफ्ट्स टू योर स्टडीज एज कम्पेयर टू द वर्क दैट यू आर डूइंग इनटू योर आर्टिकलशिप. तो अगर आप देखोगे तो साल भर तो ऐसे ही चला जाता है. बीच के 1 साल में यू डोंट हैव मच टाइम टू लर्न. So for me, 3 years of articleship is the best option, जहाँ पे people have good 2.5 years to learn and even contribute to the firm from where you are learning. Take your career ahead and gain confidence. आप जितना काम करोगे उतना confidence आएगा आपको. That reflects on your examination as well. So for me, 3 years of articleship is the best option as compared to 2 years.
I also agree with you, क्योंकि पहला साल तो फ्लो लाने में लग जाता है.
Right.
सो मोहित, वन मोर क्वेश्चन, कि मैंने बहुत जन से सुना है कि इन इंटरनल ऑडिट देयर इज लॉट अबाउट स्टेशन. सो व्हाट आर योर व्यूज अबाउट इट? लाइक इफ आई एम अ स्टूडेंट, आई हैव टू स्टडी एज वेल. सो इज दिस गोना इम्पैक्ट me, my education and everything?
So Madhav, I think same point I mentioned earlier.
Yeah.
So definitely into internal audit you cannot avoid traveling, because maybe your बेस लोकेशन इज कोलकाता, आपके क्लाइंट के हेड ऑफिस कोलकाता में होंगे, बट client might be having their factories outside Kolkata,
Yeah.
any part of India. So travel is something which you cannot restrict at any level, be it at specialist level, or even if you reach at a partnership level, you cannot avoid traveling. Duration of travel will come down. Initially you will have to travel for 1 month, 2 month at a stretch, and when you become partner, maybe your travel will be 2 days, 3 days at a stretch, or maybe 4 days at a stretch, and then you'll have to maybe travel to some another client, some another location. But for a particular client or a particular location, the travel duration gets shortened up as in when you climb up the ladder. But yes, you cannot avoid traveling while you are working, and if you have your examinations or you are pursuing some another course while working, you'll have to make up your mind in such a way that I'll have to carry both bags with me. One will be your travel assistance, another one will be your books that you'll have to study. So you'll have to manage, be mentally prepared that yes, there will be travel, but I'll have to find my way out. Even if you are in Kolkata or in your best location, you get early morning and late evening for studies. Same thing will happen when you are traveling. So you'll have to be mentally prepared that if I am traveling, if I get Saturday Sunday off, I'll have to utilize those time into my studies rather than going out and exploring that particular location. I use similar thing I used to do when I was pursuing my CA final while working with PwC. And as soon as I qualified, the best thing that I did was I started exploring those particular places wherein I used to go for audit. But before I qualified, I used to take out time, not for roaming around those but and exploring those places, but to study and
Hmm.
appear into my CA final examination.
And nowadays, like pen drive classes, like online classes are a blessing. आपके टाइम पे तो और
Absolutely,
चैलेंज है.
absolutely. I think in my days, those pen drive classes and virtual classes
Yeah.
just got started, but it was not full-fledgedly working for all the candidates. So we used to visit. So there was a different fun when we were visiting tuitions. We got to know many people. We made new friends. So that was also a big benefit. Get to interact with teachers, get their feedback, get their opinion, which into a pen drive class will never get to get. And the circle also enhances when you go and attend the tuitions. But other side of the coin is if you are working, traveling, those pen drive classes help you not to miss out any of the classes. And while you are working, you can take out time and complete your course as well. So that's the add-on benefit that people can get.
Definitely. So coming towards post CA, so when you cleared your CA, were you sure like you want to continue in internal audit? कि माइंड में एक थॉट है कि नहीं यार अब इंडस्ट्री में जाते हैं या कोई दूसरा प्रोफाइल एक्सप्लोर करते हैं?
Uh, no, Madhav. I think I was clear while after I qualified, I was very much clear that I'll have to continue with internal audit. But during COVID time, something strike into my mind, and I thought, let me try something different. So I went to EY uh, offshore for 1 year. You know, no doubt I learnt many things at EY, but I realized while working with that company is something that I realized was the interaction with client, traveling was something which I was enjoying more as compared to the work that I was doing here. And that point of time I realized that if I'll have to be into a profession, into a job, that will be the internal audit for my career. While I was working with EY, so I realized that the client interaction that I was doing, visiting the factories, interacting with different stakeholders was something that I was enjoying the most. So at that point of time, I again reached out to my existing senior, and fortunately there was a vacancy, and then I again moved to the same organization. But nonetheless, I learned many good things while I was working with EY. That organization taught me how to make a perfect risk and control matrix, which is a key document for any of the internal auditor. So those learnings would be something which will be very critical for me, and I always remember the learnings that I received from that organization. So my crux from this is that in whatever organization you work, definitely you are going to learn something, but then you'll have to also find out that what is more interesting to you, what piece of work you enjoy the most. There's no point of working and doing something wherein you feel, you are opening a laptop, in a very upset mood, and then closing a laptop, yaar kya kar rahe hain, those things will not work. At one point of time you'll land nowhere. So while doing internal audit, I realized that at least मैं जब लैपटॉप खोलता हूँ, आई एम वेरी मच हैप्पी. मे बी टुवर्ड्स द एंड ऑफ द डे आई एम टायर्ड और फिर मैं उसको बंद करता हूँ. बट वेन एवर आई क्लोज माई लैपटॉप, आई एम नॉट इन अ मूड कि यार क्या किए दिन भर में, काम अच्छा नहीं लग रहा. सो वो थॉट प्रोसेस मेरे साथ नहीं आता वाइल आई डू इंटरनल ऑडिट. सो देन आई रियलाइज दैट दिस इज द प्रोफेशन विच आई इंजॉय डूइंग. मे बी जो टास्क डे स्टार्ट में वी प्रिपेयर अ टू डू लिस्ट कि चलो ये 10 काम करना है, मे बी एंड ऑफ द डे 10 में से 6 ही काम हुआ. बट देयर इज नेवर अ रिग्रेट कि क्या काम कर रहे हैं, क्यों कर रहे हैं. So for me, this was the incident which made me realize that okay, till
Yeah.
the time I am into a profession or a job, this will be the field I will be working into.
जैसे बोलते ना कि अगर आपको काम से इश्क है तो फिर आपको काम काम नहीं लगता.
Right.
तो सिमिलरली.
Right.
So Mohit, one more question, like as a interviewer, like what are your key expectation from a CA fresher, and who should join internal audit? A follow up question.
So good question again, Madhav.
Yeah.
So being into the role of associate director, I think there are n number of interviews that we take, every week, every month. So if you ask me, the priority that I look for, so when we call someone as a fresher, we don't expect him or her to know much about the internal audit domain, because they could have done taxation, they could have done ROC, stat audit, or any sort of work that was given to them into their articleship. The only thing that I look for that how dedicated they were, irrespective of whatever work they have received, whether they were honest to their work, they did a detailed research about their work that was allocated to them, and they know in depth about the transaction or the review or the work they have executed into their articleship tenure. So in short, or if you ask me to summarize, अगर आपने कुछ भी काम किया है और आपने होल हार्टेडली किया है, समझ के किया है उस काम को, you know the ins and outs of that particular role that you have been given, for me that's a good to go for a candidate. But अगर आपने कोई काम किया है and for the sake of doing, बस आपको मिला था आपने किया है, then for me that's a negative feedback for a particular candidate. क्योंकि what I feel that when you come to an internal audit, the most important thing is कि आप एकदम deep dive जाओ. So when it comes to internal audit, when I started my career, internal auditor were a fault finder. लोग उनको ऐसे देखते थे कि ये लोग आए तो गलती निकालेंगे मेरा. But now things have changed. So internal audit is no more a fault finder, it's a trusted advisor. So कोई भी client के अगर आप जाओगे ना, तो they don't want a problem, so they want a solution for it. And ये भी क्या, मैं आपको 3-4 साल 5 साल पहले का ट्रेंड बता रहा हूँ, जहाँ पे क्लाइंट wants a solution for a problem that you have identified. Now again, when we are in 2026, things have changed. Client don't want a solution, they want solution to get implemented on ground. So जब भी हम लोग इंटरव्यू लेते हैं तो वी ऑलवेज लुक फॉर अ कैंडिडेट जिन्होंने जो भी काम किया है उसका रूट कॉज एनालिसिस, क्यों किया उन्होंने ये काम, उससे क्या आउटपुट निकला है, एंड हाउ दे हैव हेल्प देयर क्लाइंट्स. तो वो सारी चीज़ें हम लोग समझते हैं उनसे. मतलब अगर किसी ने फिजिकल वेरिफिकेशन का ही काम किया, सो हाउ दोज रिपोर्ट्स आर एक्सट्रैक्टेड, कैसे जाके आपने पीवी किया, आपने रिपोर्ट बनाया, जो डिफरेंसेस आए उसका एडजस्टमेंट बुक्स में कैसे हुआ, क्या एंट्री पोस्ट हुई, आपने चेक किया कि एडजस्टमेंट हुआ कि नहीं हुआ, आपने एसएपी में किया तो क्या टी कोड्स यूज़ हुए थे, कैसे आपको पता चला कि वो एडजस्टमेंट रिफ्लेक्ट हो गया, आपने नाविजन में काम किया या आपने टैली में काम किया तो कैसे आपने इंश्योर किया कि वो सारी ट्रांजेक्शन इनकॉर्पोरेट हो गई है आपके ईआरपी में. सो दी ओनली थिंग दैट वी लुक फॉर इज़ दैट कि आपका जो भी काम आपने किया है वो आपने पूरे डीप डाइव जाके समझ के तब किया है. सो दैट गिव्स मी अ हिंट कि अगर मैं उनको इंटरनल ऑडिट में लेके आऊँगा, यहाँ पे जो भी प्रोसेस में डालूंगा उसके डेप्थ तक जाएंगे, चीज़ों को समझेंगे. सो दैट इज समथिंग दैट वी look while
Problem
we take
solving
a,
ability.
yes.
One last question, Mohit. what made you stick to this profile from the past near about decade? If you have
Uh,
one reason.
One reason would be I love traveling.
Okay.
So when I started this profession, traveling. So right now, while I'm sitting close to a decade into this profession, I have been to almost 23 states, 23 to
Wow.
24 states. So traveling is something which gives me a kick. I love traveling. uh, Not only professionally, but with my
Hmm.
families and friends also. So that is one of the reasons. Secondly, I would say, when it comes to internal audit, the zeal to make your client happy, and identify something which even client didn't knew. Being into that particular business for such a long time, and client didn't know, and you help them to identify a problem, given them a solution and got it implemented. That zeal keeps me uh, you know uh, मोटिवेटेड, एंड दैट इज द किक पॉइंट जहाँ मेरे को लगता है कि नहीं, चलो मेरे को करना है, करके
Hmm.
क्लाइंट को देना है, क्लाइंट को ये प्रूव करना है कि येस देर आर मेनी थिंग्स इन टू देयर एग्जिस्टिंग बिजनेस वेर इन दे कैन इम्प्रूव, प्रोडक्टिविटी बढ़ सकती है. सो दैट कीप्स मी मोटिवेटेड एंड पुश मी कि नहीं, यही लाइन इज बेस्ट फॉर मी. एंड इंटरेक्टिंग विद डिफरेंट पीपल एट डिफरेंट लोकेशन, डिफरेंट स्टेक होल्डर्स. आप साउथ में जाते हो, आप नॉर्थ में जाते हो, वेस्ट में जाते हो, तो वहाँ पे अलग अलग तरह के लोग मिलते हैं. देयर वे ऑफ वर्किंग इज़ डिफरेंट, देयर स्किल सेट इज़ डिफरेंट, देयर नॉलेज बेस इज़ कम्प्लीटली डिफरेंट. आप सेम चीज़ कर रहे हो, आप उनका करने का तरीका अलग है, आपके करने का तरीका अलग है. सो यू गेट टू लर्न दोज थिंग्स. So these are the few things which keeps me motivated, makes me also realize that this is the field wherein I want to continue.
लवली. सो कमिंग टुवर्ड्स कि इंटरनल ऑडिट में जैसे अपने जो काम करते हैं, लाइक द टाइप ऑफ वर्क, हाउ अ प्रोजेक्ट ऑपरेट्स. सो वर्क वाइज, लाइक व्हाट डू वी डू इन इंटरनल ऑडिट? इफ यू कैन एक्सप्लेन मी.
Uh, Tough question, Madhav. When it comes to internal audit, there is no defined scope of work uh, that we do. Yeah, when so there are two things I would say. So there is a mandate requirement to appoint an internal auditor under Section 138. Uh, so there is a threshold for unlisted, and for listed, I think it's a mandate to have an internal auditor. So उनके लिए we have a defined scope that we prepare while discussing with the management, that how they want to do the internal audit. But when it comes to department as an internal audit, there are many things that we do. So internal audit is one part of it. So other thing is we prepare standard operating procedure, which is a detailed narrative of the entire business process. So what helps an organization is that it makes sure that their process is not people dependent. So होता क्या है कि अगर कोई लोग छोड़ के चले जाते हैं तो वो एक प्रोसेस बनाते हैं, जब लोग जाते हैं तो वो प्रोसेस भी चला जाता है. So when we prepare an SOP, we ensure if someone new comes into the system, my process remains intact. तो मेरा प्रोसेस चेंज ना हो. So we also support clients in preparing SOPs. We also run chairman office agenda for the clients. We help chair. So by chairman office agenda, we mean that promoters or the top CXOs level, they have many agendas to be executed. But होता क्या है कि वो एजेंडा तो बनाते हैं, but down the line monitor और execute करने के लिए कोई नहीं होता है. So we come into the picture. So we सब ensure कि उनके जितने भी एजेंडाज हैं वो डाउन द लाइन एग्जीक्यूट हो. अगर नहीं हो रहा है तो वी फ्लैग देम, वी इन्फॉर्म देम कि आपका ये एजेंडाज था बट दैट इज़ नॉट गेटिंग एग्जीक्यूटेड, सो टेक करेक्टिव एक्शन एट दिस पॉइंट ऑफ टाइम, नहीं तो काफ़ी लेट हो जाएगा. सो दैट इज़ वन ऑफ द वर्क दैट वी डू. Secondly, physical verification. We ensure that client's entire business is run smoothly. So we also support client in doing that. कोई भी challenges, कोई भी business process में हम लोगों को लग रहा है कोई भी challenges है, client is getting stuck somewhere, we come into the picture, help them in hiring, getting the status of if any ERP is getting implemented, whether the processes or the transaction that is flowing within the new ERP is going right or wrong. मतलब जो हम लोगों ने प्लान किया था एज पर ब्लू प्रिंट, द सेम वे थिंग्स आर गेटिंग एग्जीक्यूटेड ऑन ग्राउंड. If there is a new business plan that is coming up, so we support client into that as well. कि इसको एग्जीक्यूट करने में आपको क्या एक्सपेंसेस लगेंगे, क्या इनकम होगा, फ्यूचर प्रोजेक्शन कैसा होगा, whether that there will be a, so we prepare entire DCF that how your revenue will look out in coming 5 years 7 years, break even आप कब reach करोगे, at which point of time will start earning profit, so we prepare those things as well. We manage working capital as well of a client. So in short, there is no line that can be drawn when it comes to internal audit. So we support client in all the problems that they have. But when it comes to section 138, yeah, we agree to a particular scope and then we execute.
Now my knowledge for internal audit has widened. नहीं तो मैं पहले सोचता था, जैसे आपने बोला ना कि it's a error checking thing, but now it's
so देखो internal audit क्या हो जाता है ना, so when it comes to department, internal audit एक department नहीं होता है.
हाँ.
So department is either a risk assurance और बहुत जन उसको risk consulting बोलते हैं, business risk consulting, governance risk and compliance. So there are multiple departments. Like in PwC, there is a risk consulting. Under risk consulting, there is GRC, which is governance, risk and compliance. So I am tagged to governance, risk and compliance. उसके अंदर में one of the task और activity that we do is internal audit. So internal audit पर से बहुत लोग को लगता है कि वो department का नाम internal audit है, but that is not correct. Department का नाम internal audit in a consulting firm is nowhere. So department का नाम कुछ और होता है, उसके अंदर में one part is internal audit. तो GRC के अंदर में इंटरनल ऑडिट हो गया, SOP हो गया, चेयरमैन ऑफिस हो गया, किसी क्लाइंट को PV करवाना है, किसी को अपने पूरे असेट का रिव्यू करवाना है, किसी को स्टॉक का रिव्यू करवाना है, किसी को हायरिंग में सपोर्ट चाहिए, चेयरमैन ऑफिस में सपोर्ट चाहिए. सो एवरीथिंग फॉल्स अंडर द अम्ब्रेला कॉल्ड GRC. So internal audit per se is not a department name. It's a one of the activities that we do under GRC.
And how a typical day look like when you are in your factory doing
so
internal audit?
Again, when we go to a client location, we plan many things.
Yeah.
But actually, when we enter into their premises, many of the times I would say more than 75% of our time the agenda changes. जैसे ही आप क्लाइंट के यहाँ पहुँचते पता चलता है आज तो ये प्रॉब्लम हो गया. सो यू केम टू अ क्लाइंट लोकेशन विथ 10 एजेंडाज, यू लैंडेड अप एंड देन यू गॉट टू नो कि चलो आज तो ये प्रॉब्लम हो गया, ये एजेंडाज को बाद में करेंगे, पहले जो प्रॉब्लम है विच इज़ इम्पैक्टिंग द बिजनेस मोर एज कम्पेयर टू एजेंडाज दैट आई थॉट ऑफ, उसको बाद में करते हैं एंड दिस इज़ द प्रॉब्लम दैट आई हैव टू सॉल्व राइट नाउ. सो मेजॉरिटी ऑफ द टाइम दिस हैपन्स इन अ लाइफ ऑफ अ GRC प्रोफेशनल, कि आप सोच के कुछ और आते हो और आप करते कुछ और हो, क्योंकि उस पॉइंट ऑफ टाइम पे आपको रियलाइज़ होता है क्लाइंट के लिए ये अभी इस पॉइंट पे क्लाइंट के लिए बड़ा प्रॉब्लम है.
ओके,
सो दैट्स हाउ थिंग्स वर्क. बट येस, सो डे इज़ नॉट वेरी मच प्रेडिक्टेबल फॉर अ GRC प्रोफेशनल. इट कीप्स चेंजिंग बेस्ड ऑन द सिचुएशन दैट यू आर इन. सो आप एकदम सोच के आओगे कि नहीं मेरे को आज ये 6 का 6 ही काम करना है, सो दैट डज नॉट हैपन.
बहुत डायनामिक है.
ये डायनामिक है.
One more thing, Mohit, like suppose I'm doing a project in FDD. मेरा जो क्लाइंट आता है वो 4 to 6 वीक्स का प्रोजेक्ट ड्यूरेशन रहता है. स्टैट ऑडिट में मान लेते हैं मैक्स टू मैक्स 6 महीना. तो इंटरनल ऑडिट इज अ कंटिन्यूस प्रोसेस क्या, मतलब, और देयर इज अ पर्टिकुलर टाइमलाइन टू कंप्लीट दैट?
नहीं. सो internal audit from an organization standpoint is a continuous process, but when they are hiring a consultant, so एक टाइम फ्रेम होता है कि मतलब we'll have to complete maybe this 10-12 process का internal audit in a span of maybe 9 months, 10 months और 12 months. Generally it's a 12 months EL that we sign कि चलो एक साल के अंदर में हमको ये 10 प्रोसेस जो हम लोगों ने अग्री किया क्लाइंट के साथ ये ख़त्म करना है फॉर एन इंटरनल ऑडिट. सेम गोस फॉर अदर असाइन. देखो आप कोई भी क्लाइंट से आप कोई भी काम लेते हो ना, सो इट नेवर रिमेन्स ओपन एंडेड, राइट. अपार्ट फ्रॉम फ्यू एक्टिविटीज़ दैट वी डू जहाँ पे हमको पता ही नहीं है कि भाई क्या चैलेंजेस आएंगे आगे में, वो एक ओपन एंडेड रहता है कि चलो 2 महीना 3 महीना बिजनेस समझने के बाद हम बताएंगे आपको कि इस काम में कितना समय लगेगा. बट फॉर मेजॉरिटी ऑफ द वर्क दैट वी डू, बी इट SOP, बी इट इंटरनल ऑडिट, बी इट चेयरमैन ऑफिस एजेंडा, वो सब एक हम लोग क्लोज्ड टाइम फ्रेम में ही करते हैं. कि जैसे फॉर एग्जांपल चेयरमैन ऑफिस एजेंडा, इट्स अ नेवर एंडिंग वर्क. हर बार प्रमोटर का कुछ ना कुछ एक्सपेक्टेशन आते रहेगा. तो बट हम लोग को एक कट ऑफ लेना है कि चलो अप्रैल में स्टार्ट किए, मार्च तक का जो एजेंडाज होगा आपका वो मैं क्लोज कर दूंगा. मार्च के बाद अगर कुछ आता है तब फिर उसके लिए नया एंगेजमेंट लेटर बनेगा. और सेकेंडली व्हाट वी कैन डू कि मंथ ऑन मंथ फाइनल कर लेते हैं कि भाई हर मंथ का मैं इतना रुपये आपसे चार्ज करूंगा एंड दिस इज हाउ थिंग्स विल वर्क आउट. बट येस, देर इज फॉर इंटरनल ऑडिट जनरली इट्स अ 12 month period that we consider.
Okay. So one more question. Like, how is the culture in Big Four in the internal audit department? जैसे most of the time when I call you, like either you are working on weekends or you are out of station. So how do you manage your life and work together?
See, if you are at your base location, no one forces you to work on weekends. It's on you. Some or the other way, you yourself feel that okay, this is a problem which client has, and by hook or by crook, you yourself go to that client location. कि चलो यार client problem है, let's solve their problem. So when it comes to culture at Big Four, yes, there are a lot of travels that gets involved. Many a time people gets frustrated as well कि इतना दिन से घर से बाहर है, घर आना है. So best part is no one restricts you or ask you कि नहीं वापस नहीं आना. If you have a problem, you are missing your family, you want to come back, have a 7 day break, stay with your family and then go back, आप कर सकते हो, कोई दिक्कत नहीं. So there is a flyback which we give to our team members. Even if client has some hesitant, it's us who takes the responsibility कि चलो अगर client नहीं भी pay करेगा, we'll take care of that. So if someone has any problem, restriction, challenges, we call them back to their base location. आप family के साथ रहो. If you are unwell, get yourself well first and then again we'll plan that आपको travel करना है कि नहीं करना है. So कोई भी जगह पे अगर आप काम करोगे तो there will be pressure. Irrespective of internal audit, आप stat में हो, tax में हो, you are working in FDD. So there will be some or the other pressure that you will be having. Irrespective whichever department you work. It's on you how you manage, how you plan your work, how you deliver it to your client. अगर आप अच्छे से प्लान करके अच्छे से काम करोगे, so with my experience, if you start your work at 9, you can close it at 6. आप प्लान ही नहीं करोगे तो even if you start at 6 in the morning, you will never close it by 10 in the night as well. So for me, आपको प्लान अच्छे से करना पड़ेगा. Work culture is not negative. People are going to support you. If you have any challenge, I don't know much about other big fours, but based on my experience and based on whatever I've heard with my friends and colleagues working with other big fours, I think people support. अगर आपको कोई भी challenge हो रहा है client location पे, be it your food, be it your stay, be it your health, you are missing out on your family because you have been traveling for past 2-3 months, people support you.
Lovely.
And best part of Big Four is that no one can restrict you not to reach out to your senior if you have a problem. So if my team member have some problem with me, if I'm not supporting them, they are into some problem, I'm unable to solve out their problem, they can reach out to my senior, my director and partners as well. So that's the best part of Big Four कि there is no boundary कि अगर me being a senior manager अगर मैंने मना कर दिया है तो they cannot go and tell their problem to director or partner. They can. So that's the best part of Big Four.
So if you want to drop down few pros and cons working in this profile, तो आपका क्या pros and cons है इस प्रोफाइल में काम करने से? कुछ तो cons भी हो गए.
So everything has a pro and cons.
Yeah.
There's nothing which comes with only pro and no cons or vice versa. So pro, this pros and cons will be the summarization of whatever I have told right now. Pros is meeting new people, new stakeholders, visiting new industry, different sector, different segments, getting to know how business operates. आप मैन्युफैक्चरिंग भी देख रहे हो, आप सर्विस इंडस्ट्री भी देख रहे हो. मैन्युफैक्चरिंग में भी आप डिफरेंट टाइप्स ऑफ मैन्युफैक्चरिंग देख रहे हो, डिफरेंट रीजन के पीपल से मिल रहे हो, डिफरेंट स्किल सेट के पीपल से मिल रहे हो, डिफरेंट नेचर ऑफ पीपल से आप मिल रहे हो, डिफरेंट जोग्राफी में आप काम कर रहे हो. सो दैट इज़ द प्रो आई वुड से. एंड वन मोर थिंग टू एड ऑन, while you are working with different people, different industry, you are also widening up your thought process कि अच्छा चीज़ें ऐसे भी होती है. एंड उसमें होता क्या है कि इफ़ यू आर डूइंग अ पर्टिकुलर ऑडिट और अ पर्टिकुलर रिव्यू फॉर अ क्लाइंट और आप दूसरे इंडस्ट्री में जाते हो फॉर अ सेम ऑडिट सेम रिव्यू, यस प्रोसेस चेंज होते हैं. मैन्युफैक्चरिंग ऑफ अ ऑटोमोबाइल कैनॉट बी सेम एज कंपेयर टू मैन्युफैक्चरिंग ऑफ अ रिटेल और अपरल टेक्सटाइल, राइट. तो मैन्युफैक्चरिंग सेम होगा बट इररेस्पेक्टिव कुछ चीज़ें सेम होती है, राइट. तो आपको ये पता चलता है कि अच्छा ये काम अगर ये इंडस्ट्री में इस डिपार्टमेंट के लोग ऐसे करते हैं तो व्हाई कैनॉट आई टेल इट टू माय अदर क्लाइंट्स कि आप भी ऐसे करो. योर प्रोसेस विल बी मोर स्मूथ, you will have a more grip and control on your process, and that will give you a better output, better result. So that's the good thing that you get to know while you working with different clients across sectors. So ye pros hai I would say when it comes to internal audit. So if traveling is a pro I would say, then it's a con as well, क्योंकि बहुत लोगों को ट्रैवल करने से challenges होते हैं. They don't want to stay away with their families. They have a challenge with respect to fooding, lodging, accommodation. हर लोग हर जगह का food नहीं खा सकते. They get some allergy or everything, so that's a negative point as well. Uh, इसके अलावा आई डोंट foresee any negativity in internal audit or GRC as a domain. Travel can be the only challenge which I can say, because so pros में अगर आप मेरे से पूछोगे तो one more thing which I mentioned earlier is that you variety of job profiles gets open for you. It comes to your plate. तो you can pick and choose कि अपने 10 साल 12 साल आपने internal audit में बिता लिया है. So what you want to do ahead of your career? You want to continue with internal audit? आप इंडस्ट्री में एज एन इंटरनल ऑडिट हेड बन के जा सकते हो. आपको इस डिपार्टमेंट चूज कर सकते हो. यू कैन स्टार्ट योर ओन कंसल्टिंग. सो देर आर मेनी थिंग्स दैट यू कैन डू while working with internal audit. That's also a benefit that you are going to get. So cons में अगर आप पूछोगे तो I think only
Traveling.
thing that I see, it's not a con for me, but for other people I have seen it's traveling, especially for I have seen candidates who got married, they have their family, it becomes a bit difficult for them to travel for a longer duration.
Even managers, senior managers have to travel.
Yeah, even partners have to travel.
Oh.
So duration becomes, like I said,
Yeah, 4 to
as
5
and when
days.
you grow up to the ladder, travel will never stop. The duration of travel for a particular client, particular location will shorten up.
But there are multiple clients as well उसके बाद.
Multiple clients. So पार्टनर एक क्लाइंट की एक महीना नहीं रहेंगे, बट वो एक महीना ट्रैवल कर रहे हैं टू मल्टीपल क्लाइंट्स.
Yeah.
बट फॉर अ एसोसिएट आप एक क्लाइंट के यहाँ एक महीना हो. सो एवरीवन हैज़ टू ट्रैवल बिकॉज पार्टनर्स के लिए भी एक रिस्पॉन्सिबिलिटी है. दे गो मीट न्यू क्लाइंट्स, नए क्लाइंट्स को लाना है. मैनेजर्स के लिए हर क्लाइंट के प्रॉब्लम्स को सुनना है, इंश्योर करना है कि जो भी काम हम लोगों ने पिक किया है उस काम को सही से डिलीवर कर सकें. एंड फॉर पीपल डाउन द लाइन उनको इंश्योर करना है कि सब चीज़ एग्जीक्यूट हो सके. सो एवरीवन हैज़ टू ट्रैवल. किसी का थोड़ा ज़्यादा, किसी का थोड़ा.
Yeah, coming towards hierarchy and pay scale. तो इंटरनल ऑडिट का रोड मैप अगर मैं बनाना चाहूँ एज अ सीए फ्रेशर, तो व्हाट इज हायरार्की ओवर देयर?
So for CA fresher, I would say the role starts from associate. In PwC,
Okay.
the role starts from associate. If you are doing good in 2 years, you'll get elevated to senior associate, which is also an assistant manager. Again, if you are doing extraordinary, in a span of 2 years, you can be elevated to manager. After manager, it takes 2 to 3 years to get elevated to senior manager or associate director, then director, and after that, either you are a managing director or a partner. Equity, managing director is basically non-equity partner.
Yeah.
And when you get equity, you get converted to partner. And again, when you are a partner, every year you grow as a partner as well. You become senior partner. You get add-on responsibilities. You become cluster head. You become regional head. So likewise, the role responsibilities grows.
And what about the pay scale?
So I think pay scale, I think there is a bare minimum limit which CA Institute has set.
Yeah.
I think 8.5 or 9 lakh if I'm not wrong. And then it goes up to the ladder. Senior associate somewhere ranges between 12, 13 to 16, 17 lakhs. Manager ranges between 18, 19 to 26, 25, 26 lakhs. Then comes associate director somewhere between 26, 27 to 33, 34, 35. Then director 36, 37 to 48, 49. then partner altogether has a different
Yeah, 7 digits partner.
I'm not sure,
Yeah.
but yeah, there would be, because when it comes to partnership, there are many things attached to it. You are no more salaried person. You contribute to the firm, and based on your contribution, you are a partner. So profit sharing happens. So it's altogether a different ballgame. So I don't know much about the payout that
Yeah.
happens at that scale. Yeah, numbers are definitely good because role responsibilities and the hard work that they put in, the the output that they get is good.
इफ यू वांट टू शेयर एनी थ्रिल या मतलब आपको ऐसा कोई अचीवमेंट जो आपको फील हुआ वर्किंग इन इंटरनल ऑडिट.
Huh, so many a times, client was of the perspective that आप लोग काम अच्छा नहीं कर रहे हो, we are not getting the output. जो इनिशियली जब आप लोगों के साथ मीटिंग हुई थी, द थिंग्स दैट वी डिस्कस, द आउटपुट दैट वी वेयर सपोज टू गेट इज एक्चुअली वी आर नॉट गेटिंग. सो ये काफ़ी बार होता है क्लाइंट्स फील इन द इनिशियल फेज दैट गिव्स अस अ किक, आई वुड से, और अ थ्रिल टू प्रूव देम रॉन्ग. कि कोई भी क्लाइंट का अगर ये प्रॉब्लम है, सो वी टेक दैट एज अ चैलेंज, ensure कि after few days or maybe a month's time their perspective changes. उनको ये ना लगे कि हमसे आउटपुट नहीं मिल रहा है. So this has happened with me as well. So into one of my clients wherein I got involved, one of our managers left, and then I was introduced to that client, and client was of the opinion that everything is a mess, nothing is going right. But we were of the opinion that client को ऐसा लग रहा है, but everything is into our control. It's just that we'll have to showcase it into a way to the client that it's not something, we are not managing the show. It's we are managing the show, but yes, the problem that you are facing will get resolved. Not it's not a one day task. It will टेक सम टाइम, 2 महीना, 3 महीना, 4 महीना बाद आपको आउटपुट दिखना चालू हो जाएगा. सो दैट वाज द फीडबैक ऑफ द क्लाइंट कि उनको सब मेस लग रहा है. एंड नाउ वी आर इनटू अ सिचुएशन वेर इन क्लाइंट इज़ हैप्पी, उनको पता है कि थिंग्स हैव स्ट्रीमलाइंड, चीज़ें अच्छी चल रही है. सो दैट्स अ थ्रिल आई वुड से इनटू इंटरनल ऑडिट और अ जीआरसी डोमेन, जहाँ पे मेनी अ टाइम्स यू गेट टू नो कि यार आप लोगों ने जो बोला था वो काम हो नहीं रहा. बट that line should not demotivate you. You should take that as a what I would say, as a kick, or as a मोटिवेशन कि चलो क्लाइंट को अगर ऐसा लगा है तो लेट मी प्रूव क्लाइंट रॉन्ग कि नहीं, ऐसा नहीं है. वी आर एक्चुअली प्रोवाइडिंग यू विद द बेनिफिट्स, एंड बी रेस्ट अश्योर्ड. अगर आपका काम, अगर आपको एक बार भी लगेगा कि नहीं हुआ, सो वी आर हेयर टू रेक्टिफाई इट. सो वी ऑल्सो वर्क with a concept that if client has said us something, maybe he or she must have felt something. क्योंकि कोई भी क्लाइंट आके ऐसे ही तो नहीं बोलेगा ना, या तो उनके पास प्रॉपर फीडबैक नहीं जा रहा है कि हम लोग क्या काम कर रहे हैं, कोई प्रॉपर रिपोर्टिंग नहीं जा रहा है, हम लोग जो काम कर रहे हैं उनको कोई बताने वाला नहीं है. सो वी ऑल्सो एनालाइज कि क्लाइंट ने ऐसा क्यों बोला, एंड देन वी टेक करेक्टिव एक्शन, ताकि क्लाइंट को ऐसा ना लगे कि भाई हम लोग पैसा तो ले रहे बट काम नहीं कर रहे.
ओके. एंड इंटरनल ऑडिट बिजनेस में कैसे वैल्यू क्रिएट करता है, अगर आप क्रिस में समझा सकते तो.
So again, in piecemeal I have given answer to this question.
Yeah.
So initially internal auditor was a fault finder, right? जहाँ पे प्रोसेस ओनर को लगता था यार ये लोग आए हैं, मेरे से मेरा प्रोसेस समझेंगे, मेरा ही गलती निकालेंगे और चले जाएंगे. Now things have changed. People have started looking us as a trusted advisor. By trusted advisor, I mean to say people want us, even process owners wants us to look into their business process, tell them what is going wrong into their business process, benchmark it with other competitors within same industry or different industry. Why different industry? क्योंकि देखो, आप कुछ भी कर लो, आपके पास इंडस्ट्री अलग है, बट आपका परचेज ऑर्डर क्रिएशन, या आप 3-वे मैच बोल दो, ठीक है, पीओ, इनवॉइस, जीआरएन का प्रोसीड्यूर, कोई भी इंडस्ट्री हो, प्रोसेस तो सेम होगा. वेंडर ऑनबोर्डिंग, कस्टमर ऑनबोर्डिंग, फॉर्म क्रिएशन, ये सब तो कोई भी इंडस्ट्री हो प्रोसेस सेम होगा. So people have started looking us as a trusted advisor wherein we go uh, identify what is going wrong, try to फाइंड अ रूट कॉज टू इट, एक सॉल्यूशन उनको दे, एंड सॉल्यूशन शुड बी इन अ वे कि वो इम्प्लीमेंट हो सके. मतलब मैंने एक सॉल्यूशन दिया बट दैट सॉल्यूशन इज प्रैक्टिकली नॉट इम्प्लीमेंटेबल फॉर दैट क्लाइंट. मे बी हो सकता है कि कोई दूसरे क्लाइंट के लिए वो प्रैक्टिकली इम्प्लीमेंटेबल हो, द क्लाइंट वेरी आई एम वर्किंग इज नॉट प्रैक्टिकल फॉर देम टू इम्प्लीमेंट दैट सॉल्यूशन. तो मुझे सॉल्यूशन भी वैसा देना जो कि उनके लिए feasible हो implement करना. And then if required we can also support them in implementing and improving their particular business process. So in whole and soul, when it comes to internal GRC as a domain and internal audit, when that task gets executed, the end objective is to improvise their business process. क्योंकि आप इंटरनल ऑडिट कर किसका रहे हो, आप एक बिजनेस प्रोसेस का ही कर रहे हो. अब उसमें से जो गलती निकलेगी, गलती निकलने के बाद सो इट्स अ मैनुअल थिंग लोग कर रहे हैं. सो इफ पीपल आर लुकिंग आफ्टर सच अ बिग प्रोसेस तो उसमें कुछ ना कुछ गलतियाँ निकलेगी. एंड व्हेन यू गेट देम रेक्टिफाइड दैट मीन्स यू आर इम्प्रूविंग देयर बिजनेस प्रोसेस. So that's how we recommend our client try to get it implemented and improvise on their business process.
Okay. As a CA fresher, should I join Big Four internal audit कि इंडस्ट्री का इन-हाउस इंटरनल ऑडिट? जैसे बहुत सारे MNCs का इन-हाउस इंटरनल ऑडिट होता है, तो ज़्यादा स्कोप और ज़्यादा लर्निंग किस में?
So
An honest and unbiased answer.
I feel you should start with a consulting.
Okay.
Consulting why? Because जब आप एक पर्टिकुलर इंडस्ट्री में चल जाओगे तो आप सिर्फ उसी इंडस्ट्री को देख रहे हो, उसी कंपनी को देख रहे हो, उसी के ट्रांजेक्शन को देख रहे हो, उसी का ऑडिट आप कर रहे हो. बट व्हेन इट कम्स टू बिग फोर, आपके पास हर क्वार्टर नए क्लाइंट्स आएंगे, नए रोल्स आएंगे, नए रेस्पॉन्सिबिलिटीज़ आएंगे, नए चैलेंजेस आएंगे, नए स्टेक होल्डर्स आएंगे, नए प्रोसेस ओनर्स आएंगे. एंड मोर इम्पॉर्टेंटली आप नए नए ट्रांजेक्शन के साथ प्ले करोगे. सो स्कोप टू लर्न वाइडन्स अप. आप एक ही चीज़ को अलग अलग लेंस से देखोगे एंड देन यू कैन फाइनलाइज, चलो ये काम इस इंडस्ट्री में, इस कंपनी में ऐसे हो रहा था, यहाँ ऐसे हो रहा था, वाई कंपनी में ऐसे हो रहा था, जेड कंपनी में ऐसे हो रहा था. एंड देन यू कैन कम टू अ कंक्लूजन कि चलो अगर मैं ये चारों को देखता हूँ तो एक्स कंपनी वॉज समथिंग विच वॉज डूइंग बेस्ट. बट अगर आप स्टार्ट ही कोई कंपनी से कर रहे हो तो देन यू डोंट हैव मल्टीपल ऑप्शंस टू सी. तो आपको जो वहाँ पे दिख रहा है आपको लग रहा है वही सही है.
समझ गया.
सो कंसल्टिंग में एक बेनिफिट आपको ये मिलता है कि आप बहुत सारे जगह काम करोगे, डिफरेंट क्लाइंट, डिफरेंट नेचर ऑफ क्लाइंट. सो दी डोर्स फॉर लर्निंग ओपन्स अप, मल्टीपल डोर्स आई वुड से. तो आप ज़्यादा चीज़ देखोगे, ज़्यादा चीज़ सीखोगे, ज़्यादा लोगों से इंटरेक्ट करोगे, आपके कनेक्शंस ग्रो करेंगे. एंड एट अ सर्टेन पॉइंट ऑफ टाइम, लाइक वी ऑल्सो टोल्ड दैट एक जो नेगेटिव लोगों को लगता है या कॉन्स जो लोगों को लगता है वो है ट्रैवलिंग. सो एट अ लेटेस्ट स्टेज ऑफ योर करियर जब आपको लग रहा है कि नाउ आई कैन नॉट ट्रैवल ड्यू टू XYZ रीजंस, देन मे बी यू कैन स्विच टू अ इंडस्ट्री एंड देन execute your internal audit. By that time you will have, so learning never stops, but by that time you will have good connections into that particular domain and good understanding of this particular role responsibility that we do into internal audit. तो क्या होगा, बाद में आप किसी कंपनी में काम भी कर रहे हो तो with your connection you can reach out to people कि आप कैसे कर रहे हो, मतलब मे बी डिफरेंट इंडस्ट्री, डिफरेंट पीपल, तो that will help you into the role which you are executing at a particular organization.
Completely agree. And how is the exit opportunities in internal audit?
Very nice. So if you ask me, I don't want to take an exit opportunity.
Yeah.
Because this role is something which is very interesting for me and keeps me pushing every day to work hard, learn something new, and end of the day goal is to satisfy the client who has trusted us and given us the work and give them the feedback what is going right and what is going wrong. So if you are passionate enough, I think you will not try for an exit, but still doors open. Like I said, that you will have multiple options into your plate. Majority of the roles, not only as an internal auditor, but like I said about procurement, sales, marketing, manufacturing, you can be into the role of CFO, you can be into the role of CEO, any of the CXO's role you can be, even you can be CHRO.
Hmm.
Yes, you can play the role of CHRO because you know about human resource, you know how an entry of a particular candidate starts and how an exit of a particular candidate takes place. So if you have spent a good amount of time into internal audit, doors will open for you. N number of doors will open for you.
Even there are foreign opportunities like internal audit is accepted globally.
Yes.
Okay.
So there are few certifications. If you do CIA, that will add an weightage to your profile. And CIA is recognized worldwide, certified internal audit course. So when it comes to internal audit, approach is always same. Be it your domestic client or be it your internal audit client. आपकी recipe same रहती है. It's just you mold your way of working if you are doing it for clients working outside India as compared to the clients within India. But आपकी अप्रोच सेम रहेगी इंटरनल ऑडिट में. आपको प्रोसेसेस फाइनल करना है, किसका इंटरनल ऑडिट करना है, यू विल हैव टू आस्क फॉर द डेटा, यू विल हैव टू रिव्यू देयर डेटास, यू विल हैव टू फाइंड आउट द प्रॉब्लम्स व्हाइल इवैल्यूएटिंग द डेटा, आपको सॉल्यूशन देना है, इम्प्लीमेंट करवाना है. सो अप्रोच इज सेम, चाहे आप डोमेस्टिक क्लाइंट के लिए कर रहे हो या फिर आप इंटरनेशनल क्लाइंट के लिए कर रहे हो.
ओके. कोई स्पेसिफिक कंट्रीज जहाँ सबसे ज़्यादा डिमांड है, जैसे टैक्सेशन में मुझे पता है मिडल ईस्ट में बहुत डिमांड है.
I think if you know ins and outs about risk and controls,
Yeah.
I see Middle East as a good market. I can see UK as a good market. These are the two which is there into my knowledge at this point of time, because I have seen multiple opportunities in UK,
Okay.
in Dubai as well, Africa as well.
Yeah, Africa, lot of plants are there.
Yes.
Coming now, coming towards the most important thing, AI. मतलब AI जो आ गया, ऐसा लगता है कि अब हम लोग की नौकरियां नहीं बचेगी. So मतलब what's your viewpoint as a senior level manager कि with the inclusion of AI, how is my work gonna impact and will it replace me?
Again, I think a very pertinent question, Madhav. So with AI coming into the picture, definitely things have changed. So I personally feel that nothing can replace human minds. So with AI coming into the picture, the role has changed. You cannot be the same internal auditor that you used to be 3 years, 4 years down the line, or maybe 5 years down the line. So you cannot be, you can be replaced if you don't upgrade yourself. And with AI coming into picture, I think many things have become automated. So like data analysis have become automated, reviewing large volume of transaction, all those things have become automated. Drafting your reports, internal audit report can be drafted using AI. Control testing, if it's a structured data, control testing becomes very much easier and automated. So with AI coming into the picture, the role has to be changed a bit, and you cannot be the same internal auditor like I said. You used to be 3 years, 4 years down the line. So when I say changes, I think you have to understand few things better. Your audit techniques, AI assisted audit techniques, you'll have to work on that. You'll have to understand. You should also understand how AI works. You have to know. You should know bit of tech as well, to be more relevant into the market and stand out from what other people are doing. So maybe output of AI should also be studied and researched, and from an internal auditor, you should ensure that whatever AI is giving, it's not copy pasted and given to the client. You have to study, take a reference out of it, draft as per your client's requirement, and then hand over those documents to the client. So you will also have to enhance your skills. How to use an AI is also a skill. It's not just you write up something and AI will give you. How to write a prompt is also very critical. With tokens coming into the picture, if you don't give a right command to AI, your tokens will be utilized. You're left with 0 token. You'll have to spend more. So everything has to be planned well before you use an AI. It's not just you say ChatGPT that this is my data, give me a observation which I want to give to the client. No, that's how AI doesn't work. So you will have to enhance. You'll have to learn about AI assisted audit techniques. understand AI governance and AI risk management, how AI governance work, how based on AI risk management can be done. So there are many things that you should learn, understand, and differentiate yourself from what other people are doing.
And this is gonna take my job?
Not at all. If you don't want to upgrade your knowledge, change with the change in the way of working that world is seeing with AI coming into the picture. If you don't want to do that, maybe you can be replaced. Uh, then you, but if you want to change with the changing in the working pattern, no one can replace you.
Okay.
End of the day, everything comes to a human mind for conclusion. So AI can give you an output, but how to present that output and how to come to a conclusion with that output, you require a human mind.
Okay. Thank you for your valuable input, Mike. From associate to associate director. So your journey would have been a lot ups and downs, and the journey would give you a lot of wisdom as a professional, as a person. So can you pass such wisdoms to the freshly qualified CA?
Yeah, so when it comes to consulting, I think few uh, you know designations are key milestones. I would say one is becoming a manager, second is becoming a director, and third is when you become a partner. So these are the key milestones you think of when you start a journey. So when I started, I was one level below associate. So I was a specialist when I started my journey because I was not qualified at that point of time. But I never felt that I cannot be a partner into a system. So my thought process is not only to look up to director level, but up to partner level, because that will keep me motivated and it will push me to work hard and achieve that particular timeline as soon as possible I can. So even when I got promoted to associate, the only thing that my manager told me that don't ever think and work as an associate. So until unless you think that you are a senior associate and you work like a senior associate, you will never. So when I was as an associate, so my manager always told me that, boy, don't think that you are an associate, always think that you are a senior associate. So if you think that you are a senior associate, you'll start performing like a senior associate, and when you perform like a senior associate, your promotion will never get hampered. But if you feel that you are an associate, by the time you reach to a mindset of senior associate, maybe you should have got promoted in 2 years time, but your promotion took place in 3 years or 4 years time, so you lost 1 or 2 years of your career. So that was the feedback that I got from my manager, who is partner at this point of time, and that helped me a lot. Even I am sitting right now as a associate director, but I always feel that I'll have to perform as a director, because if I think that I'll have to perform as a director, then only I'll start performing as a director, and my seniors would see me that I'm an associate director, but I'm performing as a director. So my evaluation to directorship level would become much more easier as compared to if I still feel that okay, चलो अभी तो senior manager बना हूँ, साल भर के बाद सोचूंगा कि कैसे करना. So it would impact my promotion maybe for by 1 year or a 2 year. So that's something which I have always kept in mind, that जो भी designation पे आप हो, you always think that आप उससे एक level ऊपर हो. आप जब सोचते हो तो आप ऐसा perform करते हो and you get the results.
Lovely. ये एडवाइस तो मैं भी अब फॉलो करूंगा. लाइक आई एम अ सीनियर एसोसिएट, आई विल think like a manager.
Absolutely. So,
Yeah.
Madhav, when you start behaving like a manager, and when you'll have to steal the opportunity from your manager. So many a times, my manager used to go and present the audit committee deck along with partner, or when we are pitching to a new client, the proposal deck that we prepare. But I somehow, I like preparing PowerPoint presentation, and I somehow started stealing those opportunity from my manager, that allow me to present. I learn, and if somewhere I go wrong, you are there to support me. You pitch in and then take the command. So that's how I started learning. I started stealing the opportunity from my senior, taking those roles and responsibility, and by God's grace, I think those promotions and everything came into uh, picture.
God's plan.
God's plan.
Lastly, any advice for the aspiring CAs watching your video?
I think only feedback that I would give them is to work hard, and whatever you feel that is something which is very close to your heart, irrespective of any profession. If even if you like playing sports, work very hard, give full dedication to that work, and I think you will definitely get success into that particular field. No one can stop you if you are fully dedicated, honest to yourself. If you are dishonest to yourself, there will be roadblocks. But if you are honest, working hard, I think nothing can stop you. That's the only feedback I can. So even if you are a aspiring CA, that does not mean that you cannot. You'll have to enter into the field of CA only. You can do n number of things. You can be a good sportsman. You can be a good video editor. You can be a good photographer. So qualification is one thing, but if something is very close to your heart, you are very passionate, do that thing. Having a CA degree will ensure that you will be more professional towards the work you do. And if you are a qualified CA, that means you have already worked very hard into your career. So whatever work you choose, you are definitely going to work hard. But add on what you will get, you'll be more professional towards your work, and if you are dedicated, definitely you'll get result out of it. That's the only feedback that I would have.
Thank you so much for your valuable time. Really means a lot. And next time we meet you as a partner in this forum.
Absolutely. Thanks, Madhav. Thank you for
Yeah.
allowing me to speak on the profession which I love the most. Thank you. Thanks a lot.
I'm blessed, like I was able to understand the concepts of internal audit. So I'm widening my knowledge through you. Thank you.
Right. And if I've said something wrong, then please pardon me. Thank you.